So, hey y'all, how's it going? I am Joy, that is Steve, and we are back with the NFL predictions versus Season 3, Week 2. How you doing?
Wow. Doing okay there. It was a rough week for all of us. The first week of the season.
Yeah, everybody except for SDS, who will no doubt be completely happy with himself after his performance last week.
Exactly.
Alright, so there's our standings. We have SDS in first place with a 10, 5, and 1, because of course there was a tie as his record. John is in second place with 8, 7, and 1. Steve here has a 7, 8, and 1 record. And then Buff and I are tied with 6, 9, and 1.
Thank you
Nice.
very, thank you very much. Texans and Colts were at for that tie.
Yeah, you know what? Matt Ryan did his best. He made a game of it. I honestly thought that they were going to pull that out. But then when it would hit overtime, the same time the other game hit overtime, and I just kept seeing the clock slowly ticking down and the ball wasn't moving, it's like, oh no, what's
True.
going on here?
Yeah.
You have, don't you have like the greatest running back in the league that's not named Derrick Henry? Why are we
Yeah.
tying with freaking
True.
Houston?
True.
Somebody explain that to me.
Luckily, I had the NFL Red Zone, so it, it kept up to date with both overtimes there.
Yeah, that was really helpful. For me, I was honestly, I was watching the Bengals and Steelers game, which
Hmm.
Steve and I were talking before we started recording, and we're gonna do 3 game highlights of the week when we get started. So the videos might be a little bit longer if you want to. I'll go ahead and put a timestamp up when our predictions actually begin, but we're just gonna talk about the games a little bit
Hmm.
and kind of review. Personally, for me, this was the week of the kickers.
Yeah.
And special teams is so important. And what I find really ironic is there was a 60 Minutes episode before the season started where they were talking to Justin Tucker and former kickers
Hmm.
about how like intricate their play is and how important they actually are, and how if one thing goes wrong, the entire kicking game is off. And that's what we've seen with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Evan McPherson, arguably one of the better kickers in the league. Like, I would probably put him top 5. He didn't have his long snapper in the unit, and that threw off the timing tremendously. And that's what led to the miss because the holder couldn't get the laces spun around. That's what led to the blocked punt because it took too long for them to set it up.
Yeah.
So, or not blocked punt,
And
the blocked
points
field.
off the goalpost.
Yeah, exactly. Now that one with Boswell, I don't know what was happening there, but that
Yeah.
was I jumped off of the couch when he missed because I
Yeah.
thought it was game over right then and there, and then I still had a chance. So I was thrilled. For me, I think that Cincinnati and Pittsburgh is going to be my game of the week. Even though I lost it, it was like the
Yeah.
most entertaining game to watch.
Mhm.
I mean, even the commentators and I, we both said, "What is happening?" during that
Yeah.
entire overtime sequence. So that's my personal pick. What was your game of the week?
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Chargers there beating the Raiders there. And obviously, Khalil Mack at the last minute there sacking his former team there, win it there.
Yeah, I forgot that Khalil Mack actually went there. Not gonna
Hmm.
lie, that defense is freaking scary. You've got Joey Boza and
Hmm.
Khalil Mack. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That is one heck of a line. So they are a force to be reckoned with in the West. So how about for you? What was your surprise of the week?
Oh, I'm I'm going to apologize in advance for this. There, I'm going to say the Bears beating the
Ooh,
Niners, even though it was on rainy Soldier Field there.
yeah, I would agree with that though. That was really surprising. I don't know. Although, I mean, to be fair, I did say that Trey Lance was going to struggle a lot,
Yeah.
and he did. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't expect him to struggle against the Bears,
Yeah.
but here we
Oh,
are. Um, my what the frick shock of the week was the Giants beating Tennessee
yeah.
because
Uh,
I'm sorry.
2-point conversion there.
Yeah, exactly. You could have went for the tie
Yeah.
and gone into overtime like every other game, but
Mm-hmm.
you decided to go for the gusto. I think that's the word. Anyway,
Yeah.
you tried to go for it for
Mm-hmm.
two and you got it. And
Mm-hmm.
that was just like I didn't even see the entire game, so I don't know how we got to that point. I just kept seeing the score, and I remember saying as I was leaving the room, I seen the score tick by on the bottom, and I
Uh-huh.
came back in and just said, "I'm sorry, why are we losing to the Giants?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just like I don't understand what happened there. Derrick Henry had a very very quiet game,
Uh-huh.
which for my fantasy team, the knee cuisine, we kind of struggled a little bit because of him.
Yeah.
I fully expected him to go all lights out, and that was not the case,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
unfortunately. I'm hoping that he has a better outing this week, although with who they're facing, I'm not loving the idea. And then for our regret of the week, I am going to go with taking the Patriots over Miami. Not only do they have an apparent historically bad time in Miami, but I gave Mac Jones the credit that I should not have because I thought that he would be better despite the tutelage of Matt Patricia and Joe Judge running the offense. So that was my bad, not trusting what I know of Matt Patricia and how horrible he is.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on me, honestly. And I really, truly kicked myself
Yeah.
for picking him because I knew better. Like, I knew that they were going to ruin him early.
Yeah.
I let hope win, and I shouldn't have.
Sure.
What was yours?
Okay. My regret of the week. Obviously, I'm gonna take Cleveland being Carolina there. I I wasn't expecting Baker Mayfield to struggle there against his former team.
Yeah, I'm pleased that they at least made some kind of a game out of it. It
Sure.
was not close for a while, and they fought back somehow, which was really nice to see. But
Uh-huh.
also, yeah, I fully expected them to do better. I was surprised that Jacoby Brissett did as well as he did. Although I've never like hated his QB play. I always thought that he got like more of a worse rep than he actually deserved.
Sure.
But then again, in Nick Chubb, it was Nick Chubb
Yeah.
and Kareem Hunt pretty much
Yeah.
all the way. So
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I should have known better. And also, I don't know why Carolina didn't use McCafferty.
Yeah.
He got the ball a few times, I think, but they didn't use him to um, the full potential that I thought they should have.
Maybe
Maybe,
the
yeah, yeah,
injury that we don't know about.
yeah, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is that cost me a win, like a lot of these other surprises did. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed.
Mhm.
Some of these games went exactly the way that you would expect, and then others were just like, what the heck is happening?
Yeah.
So
But
there goes our week one review portion. Now we can head on over to week two and get these predictions underway if you are ready to roll.
ready to go.
All right. First up on Thursday night, we have the Chargers going to the Chiefs in another sure to be competitive AFC West battle.
Yeah. I heard, now Thursday night games there for people interested. They're on Amazon Prime in the states there, but in Canada we're going to get it on free TV. There all the Thursday night games.
Oh, y'all are so lucky up there.
Mm.
Jonas, you're right. We're moving to Canada
Yeah.
in the future.
Obviously, we discussed the Chargers there. They're their big win with Herbert and the defense with Bosa and Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
there.
I mean, now that I know how fierce that defense is going to be, I'm really, really curious how Mahomes, Kelsey, and company are going to handle
Yeah.
all of that. Like, can they actually protect
Mhm.
Mahomes against those two? I don't
Yeah.
know how great their offensive line is because I know Mahomes is more of like a scrambler and a wily sort. So I
Right.
don't know how strong their O line is, and I'm a big proponent of if you can win in the trenches, then you got this. So this
Mhm.
could be just a game of the trenches, and we'll see if the Chargers can actually
Mhm.
pull that off. I think that they're going to go in as underdogs, so this would kind of be an upset if they did, but
Mhm.
it wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs there to edge out the Chargers this week at home.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's in Kansas City is kind of what swayed me the most. Because again, I could definitely see the Chargers taking it, but look, this is what I said for my picks going forward.
Mhm.
I can't afford to be risky, overly risky. I am 4 games back in
Yeah.
this versus, so
Mhm.
I need to just play it safe when the opportunity presents itself.
Mhm.
So I'm as well going with the Chiefs, unfortunately. I like the Chargers a lot more as a team, and I think that they have a lot more potential, but the Chiefs are just really, really strong, and so I'm taking them to take the first game. All right, next up used to be one of the meme matchups of the season, but now it's a little bit better, at least on one side of them. We have the Jets going to the Browns.
Yeah. This one is a loser bowl there.
I mean,
But
you say that, but Cleveland's really not that bad.
yeah, yeah. No, I'll admit they're the number on Carolina there, but the question is, can they continue the momentum there against the Jets there? And I
Yeah.
think they might there this week there.
Yeah, I would agree. I think run, run, run. You
Hmm.
have Chubb. You have a 2 and/or 3 headed beast as your running back room, and I think
Hmm.
that you need to utilize them and just
Hmm.
keep feeding the monster, and you've got this. So I am as well going with the Browns because it's the Jets,
Yeah,
and Joe Flacco only managed 9 points against his former team.
yeah.
So
Huge problems there.
yeah, I mean they might very well bench him and go for the other backup, Mike White or whatever his name is. I don't know if he's still playing for them. I assume so, but I don't know.
That'd be my guess.
Yeah. All right. Next up could be a sleeper and the game that I took the most risks on. We have the
Mhm.
Commanders visiting the Den and taking on the Lions.
Yeah. I had to. This was the last game I picked because this one was a tough one for me to call there. The Commanders, they did well against the Jags last week there, and then the Lions there. They made the game of it against the Eagles there, obviously.
They did. They only lost by 3, and there was an intentional grounding that wasn't called.
Hmm.
And then later on, the NFL came out and said, you know what? Hurts really should have been penalized for that. Our
Hmm.
bad. And I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
Because the NFL always says my bad after they do anything that messes a game up. And it's not
Hmm.
just against Detroit. So the entire officiating is just a problem in general. But that's a rant for another day.
Exactly there. But I think this week I'm going to take a little bit of a risk there. I'm going to go for your favorite team, the Detroit Lions, to squeak it out against the Commanders.
Yay. That's 3 people this week that I know of that are going with Detroit because I agree. I think that Detroit is really scrappy. They're a fighter. Dan
Mm-hmm.
Campbell needs to stop going for
Mm-hmm.
onside kicks all the time. Stop going for it on fourth
Mm-hmm.
down. Just be
Mm-hmm.
a normal game managing coach for once,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
From what I recall, DeAndre Swift is a little bit dinged up. So I'm not sure if he's going to start or not. But honestly, that running back room is very, very deep with talent that can just plug in as needed. So I think they'll be okay. And
Okay.
defensively, they kind of met up with a juggernaut in AJ Brown and Hurts. So I forgive that. And then the offense came back and made a game of it. So I do think it'll be a fun one to watch. And I'm going with Detroit, as are you, and I think a couple of other people as well. So we shall
Mm-hmm.
see. Please don't let me down, Dan. I really
Mm-hmm.
want to like you.
Yeah.
All right, now that was your last game that you picked. This one
Mm-hmm.
is mine. I agonized over this pick for a very long time. We have the
Mm-hmm.
Saints hosting Tampa.
Yeah.
I debated on this a lot longer than I probably should have, and I think that the score of the game will kind of confirm that I was being really silly.
Yeah.
But I just
Yeah.
I couldn't really decide.
Mm-hmm. I
So
guess we were both shocked there about how Brady did on Sunday night there. I was expecting him to slow down a little bit, but
oh, not at all.
apparently,
Not at all. I wasn't surprised in the least. It's Brady.
yeah,
Um we are all pretty much assured this is his last year
yeah,
cuz, the wife said so. But yeah, he's on a mission, and so he's going to come out guns a-blazing and
and again, yeah, on the other side you have Jameis Winston and the Saints there who barely won that game against Atlanta.
yeah, that was such a fun comeback to see the scores changing as I was watching the Steelers game
Mhm.
because like I thought for sure they were dead to rights and then Atlanta pulled in Atlanta
Mhm.
and here we are. It's like and that makes me happy in a way because it proves that Matt Ryan was never the problem.
Yeah,
Everyone said that he was a choke artist and they wanted to ride him out of town and all of that, but you ditched him and you still choke when it matters and you still
mhm.
give up the lead. So
Yeah,
it's not his fault. Now
sure.
granted that he didn't really help his case any by freaking tying with Houston, but still.
Yeah,
A tie is better a tie coming from behind is better than giving up that big of a lead at the end of the
exactly.
game.
Yeah,
So, not to knock New Orleans at all because they were the ones who came back and they had a really great showing, and
yeah,
that's kind of what made it more difficult for me to pick this one. Plus,
yeah,
Tampa's recent history
mhm,
with New Orleans.
yeah,
So I was very tormented over this pick.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. But I think this one's going to be another close one, and I think Brady and the Bucks will pull it out there by skin their teeth.
So you're taking Tampa?
Yeah.
I'm taking Tampa too.
Okay.
Um, I really, really wanted to go with New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm already kind of taking a risk on the Lions game,
Mm-hmm.
so I couldn't afford to risk everything
Okay.
already. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided I was going to play it safe, and like I said last week, that
Oh my God.
was a long one, buddy. You you okay? Yep, he's yep, okay.
Oh, oh my goodness. Poor bird.
He he likes New Orleans. He likes New Orleans a lot apparently. Sam will be happy to know that. Um big Cameron Jordan guy over there. Anyway, um what was I even saying? Right, right. I'm gonna stick with Brady until I'm told not to stick with Brady.
Okay.
Even though I do like New Orleans a lot and I like them more than Tampa, but I just Brady is special this year. Given that it's his final year, I think he's on a warpath. That being said, Godwin, I believe, is hurt. He might not play. So they're going to have to rely on Evans, and Julio Jones is finally going to have to do his job that he got drafted for, or not drafted, traded for. Dino, you are just, I'm so scattered.
Oh my goodness, poor bird.
I know you disagree with me, but deal with it. Anyway, so we're in agreement on that one. Moving on before he throws a whole conniption fit over that game. We have Carolina going to the Giants.
Yeah. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you. A little bit quieter this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't nearly as exciting.
Yeah. Obviously, Giants there with their second win against Titans. They're riding momentum, especially with Saquon Barkley's running style.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Barkley is back and doing well. Very, very happy.
Yeah. And obviously, you never know with Carolina. They're with what kind of Baker Mayfield shows up during the game.
They need to give it to McCaffrey. You have to establish with him first.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can throw to Moore and actually manage your game, but you can't manage the game with no clock management play. And that comes from your running back. And you have one of the best in the league. Sorry, Buff.
Yeah.
He's arguably one of the better backs when he's healthy. So despite your hatred for him, I like him personally. Always have.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
But I think I'm going to go with the Giants. Momentum there for another week there.
Okay. All right. I can see that. To me, that's a bit of an upset. If they can. I'm gonna stick with Carolina and say they're gonna bounce back, mainly just because I don't really know how much I believe in the Giants. Yes, they beat Tennessee, but I don't really know how much I buy into that yet. So they're gonna have to prove that to me, probably this week or the week after, when they face who do they face next? Dallas, actually. So that one could be fun. Next up, we have the Patriots going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Obviously, Pittsburgh surprised a lot of people with Mitch Trubisky's play there.
I'm going to say Najee Harris.
Yeah.
And that defense. That defense was absolutely amazing, and I wholeheartedly regret not starting them in my fantasy league, because that would have netted me a ton of points and enough to actually beat John in week 1, I think. So,
yeah,
or at least come close, so I wasn't like completely destroyed. But either way, Pittsburgh's defense is very good.
Yeah,
their running back is really good.
Except for one problem, they lost T.J. Watt to injury.
I know, yeah, he tore his pec, I think.
Yeah.
I'm so sad about that. He was the only reason I even drafted that defense, not gonna lie. So having TJ Watt go down does definitely put a bit of a damper on their performance. But do you think that's going to be enough to prevent them from being dominant in this game?
Probably not. They're obviously Mac Jones and the Patriots there didn't show much against the Dolphins there, and I'm worried that might continue in Pittsburgh there.
Yeah, especially having 2 back-to-back road games, and Mac Jones is questionable with a back injury, as far as I know. I'm pretty sure he'll play, but if he does, it's gonna be like a Matt Stafford kind of deal where he's not 100%, and any rough hit, you're kind of endangering yourself for the season. And plus, like we talked about earlier, the Matt Patricia effect is real. So that's going to be great for him.
Yeah. But I think Pittsburgh will have enough to get their second win of the season there, and I'll take the Steelers over the Patriots.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not gonna go ahead and take the Patriots again just because I learned my lesson. Anything Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, I'm just kind of gonna stay away from until I feel confident in it. And Pittsburgh's defense was fairly solid in overtime, even without T.J. Watt. So I
Hmm.
think that they'll be okay. Their secondary is surprisingly strong. Like for not having any quote unquote playmakers, they're pretty dang good.
Yeah.
So we agree on that one, and let's just see how they do it without their stud in Watt. All right, staying in the AFC, we have the Colts, who I swear, if you do not get your act together, going to Jacksonville to take on the
Yeah.
Jaguars.
Yeah. How they survived the game against the Texans with a tie is beyond me.
Yeah, they had a really good comeback. I honestly thought they were going to lose, but they did a good job in coming back. I just really wish that they would have been able to do something in overtime, one way or the other.
And obviously, the Jags, they, they lost a close one to the Commanders there.
Yeah, they played fairly well. They were leading, I think, most of the game because
Yeah.
Washington had to come back from a deficit. There was like it was 22 to 16 or something, I want to say, and they were able to actually come back from that. So Jacksonville did play well.
Yeah.
But what you thinking for this one?
Okay. I think I'm going to try, try Matt. I mean, Matt Ryan and the Colts again this week. Just don't end in the tie, please.
I freaking swear, if you guys tie twice in a row, I will
Hmm.
actually lose my mind.
Yeah.
And I kind of need my mind, so please don't do that. But I agree. I'm taking the Colts. I think apparently there's this thing where Indianapolis just isn't good week one, so they should
Mhm.
have their act together now going forward and just feed Taylor more, please.
Exactly.
All right, this one should be a decent one. I remember it last season, I believe, and it was a really good game, a very surprising game. We have Miami going to Baltimore.
Yeah. This one should be the best game of the early afternoon because of the Dolphins there. How they handled the Patriots there with Tua's offense and all their wide receivers there were amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, this one I did kind of regret not going with Miami, but
Hmm.
I regretted that more not so much because of them, but because of New England and the fact that I trusted them when I shouldn't have. So this one, I don't know. I do think that Miami has tons of potential this season. I think they'll be kind of like a good middle of the road team for the division.
Yeah. And obviously Baltimore with Lamar Jackson there playing for a new contract there.
Yeah, potentially big money Jackson. We'll see. I'm still kind of split on that. He was offered a fairly big deal and decided not to take it because it wasn't like fully guaranteed. But
Yeah.
it kind of makes a leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how he does.
True. Yeah. And but I think the Ravens there will have enough to make it 2-0, but it'll be a close game there. So I'm taking Baltimore to win.
I agree. I think it'll be closer than it should be,
Hmm.
but I'm in agreement with you, and I'm taking Baltimore. I really don't like Lamar Jackson, but I think that the team itself is stronger, so I have to go based on that. This one, we have the chokers of the NFC with Atlanta traveling to LA to take on the Rams.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
team,
Marcus Mariota there uh, wasn't too bad there, but wasn't enough to win the game against the Saints there.
no, their defense is just soft apparently.
Yeah, true.
Because offensively they were fine. They were
Hmm.
fairly dominant early on, scored well, moved the ball around well. I think he had like 2 rushing touchdowns himself. So they did well. Their defense is just kind of garbo.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you
And
kind of need a strong one going against all the weapons that the Rams have.
yeah, and obviously, the Rams there are want win a comeback game after that huge loss to the Bills there.
Hmm. Which I'm
And
actually regretting not taking as well because I wanted to go with the Bills, but
mhm, true.
I didn't.
But like I said there, I think the Rams will will come back from their disappointing week 1 game there and come out dominant there. So I'm taking the Rams to beat the Falcons.
I agree. I hope it's not close because quite frankly it shouldn't be, but we'll see. I don't know. I think the Rams could be poised for a disappointment
Mhm.
on the season, but I think at least in this one they should be fine. Next up, we have an NFC West battle with the 49ers hosting the very surprising Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, but I was surprised there. Seattle's performance on Monday night there. They got lucky that the last kick by the Broncos there was short there. So
Yeah, I don't really know about it being that lucky. I think it was coaching error on Hackett's part. There was like so many instances where he botched all of the time management and it left no time for them to do anything at all. But you have to also give credit to Seattle for working Geno Smith as well as they did. That was an amazing performance from someone who no one expected to do anything, pretty much.
yeah, and on top of that, their question is, can Trey Lance bounce back from a disappointing game on the last week there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that it's going to be at home is going to help a lot.
Mm-hmm,
Um, John can help me out with this one, but I don't really see Seattle as a good road team.
mm-hmm,
Maybe I'm wrong, but I know them more for the whole 12th man thing. So I think
yeah,
that being at home does definitely give Trey Lance more of an advantage
yeah,
because now he's not going to have to deal with the elements like he did in Chicago.
true. And I think it'll be enough for the Niners to bounce back there, and I'll take them to beat Seattle this week.
Yeah. Prefacing this with I hope that I'm wrong, but I'm also going with San Francisco. I would love for Seattle to come out and surprise people again and get a good
Mm-hmm.
division victory, but until I'm like shown more consistency out of like Geno Smith and that offense.
Yeah,
Now the defense was really solid though, so I will definitely give them credit for that. But until I see
yeah.
more consistency out of the offense going forward, I'm not going to truly like
Mhm.
buy into the hype. Like just because they won one really good game
Yeah,
doesn't mean that they're gonna.
run the division.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going with San Francisco, even though I do think that Seattle is the better team overall.
Yep.
But I
Okay.
do like the defense for San Francisco a lot.
So we're in agreement of that one.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next we have the Bengals, who will be limping their way into Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The
Yeah,
Dak Prescottless.
true. Obviously, Dak there is in some is injured real bad there, and
Yeah, it was. It was quite the game.
mhm. And so now Cowboys are going to have to rely on Cooper Rush for a little while there,
Yeah.
unless they decide to go after a quarterback out there like say Cam Newton
Mm,
or RG3, or do I dare say that other guy's name there? I've been saying in the past couple of years.
Kaepernick?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think that any of those three run a style of play that Mike McCarthy would enjoy. So I don't think that they would fit his system like at all. And also, Jerry Jones spending any kind of money is rare. So
yeah.
Good luck with that, trying to get some kind of hotshot free agent. I think they're just going to ride with Rush and see what they can come up with. It's definitely a blow, though, for the division because this was supposed to be their division to win or their division to lose if they somehow drop the ball. But now with this injury, it really opens it up for Philadelphia to just slide on in and take what's theirs. So,
Like there, yeah. But I expect their Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to come out guns a blazing there. So
yeah,
I'm going to take the Bengals, obviously, to beat the Cowboys there.
yeah, I think that they definitely need some revenge on this because the way that they lost such a freaking exciting game. That was like my favorite game I've seen in a very long time. Um, it was just so exciting. And what I hope is that Evan McPherson gets another shot at making some field goals here with that tight end as a long snapper. I think that'd be much needed. And you know that Wilcox was working on his snaps all week. They practiced that forever just to get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that he has a good game.
Yeah,
But we are definitely in agreement.
yeah.
All right, next up, AFC again. We have the Texans, surprisingly, going to Denver. So both of these teams were kind of surprising last week, so it's going to be interesting to see how they go forward.
Yeah. I just hope the Broncos coaching will let Russell Wilson call more plays instead of bumbling the late fourth quarter there.
Yeah, they need to work on their timeouts and their timeout management, and that goes for like also allowing Wilson to call timeout himself.
Mm-hmm.
The final bit of the play, I was watching this thing on Twitter, and Peyton Manning and Eli Manning were doing their critiques of the game like in real time, and Peyton kept trying to call for timeout himself. Like he was signaling, you should be calling for timeout, call for timeout, call for timeout, and he called timeout 62 times
Yeah,
in the time that it took Denver to actually call one, and Denver burned 30 seconds off the clock before they
yeah,
actually took a timeout.
yeah.
So I don't know why Russell Wilson couldn't have taken a timeout when he's seen what the time was, what the situation was, and we need to stop and think about this. I don't know if that's not part of his permissions under the coaching staff or he just didn't take it upon himself to do. But
This is,
yeah, they need to work on their time management skills for sure.
yeah, and obviously the Texans there, as we discussed, their
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
high game there.
Yeah, I'm still confused at Houston. I don't even know what to say. I really
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, but David Mills there, he he was okay there, but I don't think he'd be the answer there. There,
I
uh,
don't know. I mean, he's fairly decent, it seems. So
yeah,
he might. I mean, he's not going to be like a superstar in the league by no means, but he's definitely competent enough to clearly, you know, get the job done.
mm-hmm,
So we'll see how that goes. I think they're definitely more improved from last year,
exactly.
but I don't think they've improved enough to win this one, personally speaking.
Yeah, yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, I hope Russell Wilson turns it around and comes up with a huge game there, and I'm going to take the Broncos there. There.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with the Broncos as well, just because you clearly know what's wrong. You got a week to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Figure it out. And you're
Yeah,
facing a much easier team, let's be fair.
yeah.
So you should be able to figure this thing out and fix it going forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we have Kyler Murray and the Cardinals going to the Raiders.
Yeah. Obviously, Arizona last week there they ran to a buzzsaw named Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs there, so it was tough for them.
Yeah, that was not a good game. 44-21. Not the best of showing for your big money QB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously the Raiders there. they were stopped. They their offense got stopped there by no friend of theirs.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty decent game, though, I will say.
Mhm.
There just seems to be an issue with Derek Carr and pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
He tends to like crumble under pressure, apparently, but at least that's the jokes that's coming out of the game. But I still like him as one of the more underrated QBs of the league. So,
Mhm.
personally speaking, I'm taking the Raiders in this one.
Okay, and with me there, I'm going to give Connor Murray a chance there, and that'll be my upset of the week there. The Cardinals beating the Raiders.
All right, that's a really good pick. I like that as a good upset. I think it definitely has potential.
Mhm.
On the road, though, I couldn't rationalize taking the Cardinals on that one.
Yeah, so we're split on that one.
Yes, we are. This one, I really hope that we don't split. I seen that John and I split on this one, and I'm very confused and kind of sad. We've got the Packers hosting the Bears.
Yeah,
The
obviously,
Bears.
obviously Aaron Rodgers got a little bit of a problem there. He don't doesn't have any receivers that 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 can catch the
I,
ball.
I done told y'all you paid him all this money and you didn't give him any weaponry to actually throw to. So
Yeah, and they lose Devontae Adams to the Raiders there.
exactly. So who's your guy? Like, because I think Lazard didn't play, and I don't know if he's expected to play
Mhm.
in this one.
Mhm.
So you've got your running back core, which is decent. I do like their running back core. They have Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, which I like, but also Aaron Rodgers is not a handoff kind of QB. So he needs someone to step up and be that guy.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
they still have Randall Cobb? I think they have Randall Cobb.
yeah, true.
So, I mean, they should be fine, but
But then again, they're you have the Bears there with their shocking win there in the rain against the Niners there.
yeah, I'm pretty surprised at that, to be fair. Um, I don't really know what to say, to be fair. I was stunned, still kind of am, but I think that facing the guy who quote unquote owns you since he started playing, I think
Yeah,
it's going to be a
Justin
much bigger story.
Yeah, yeah. Justin Fields there. He did made, made a huge comeback against the Niners there, which was amazing there.
Yeah, he did okay. He did all right.
But I think I'm going with another upset there with apologies to you there. I think I'm going to go with the Bears over the Packers.
Wow. Okay, yeah, so you agree with John, and I'm taking Green Bay
Okay.
because it makes more sense and it's in Green Bay, so I'm hoping that they can actually
Yeah.
pull
I,
this thing off cuz when they
yeah.
lost to Minnesota, it was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So hopefully being at Lambeau, being against the Bears, it'll be
Yeah.
a much better situation for them. I agree with Buff though, because he went with the Packers as well. But in parentheses, he just said "ew," and I'm like, same.
Yeah.
So this entire game was just not fun to pick. But we split again.
True there. Yeah.
All right, we
But
got.
but the only hope for the Packers to win there is if they get some competent receivers there to catch all of Aaron Rodgers' passes.
Yeah, again, I'm gonna have to take a look at the depth chart for Green Bay before I actually
Mhm.
talk myself into a hole again. I have
Yeah.
Lazard on my team, and I'm pretty sure that he's like third, second or
Mhm.
third on the depth chart. I'm not positive. I know that
Mhm.
he's wide receiver one, but I think he's the second wide receiver one, which is
Yeah.
weird. I don't understand how it all works. It's really strange formatting to me. But anyway, hopefully they will get their act together in the passing game because Lord knows he needs it.
Yeah.
All right, two games left. First up, we go to Tennessee going to Buffalo.
Yeah.
And this is a very, very, very bad matchup for Tennessee after what
Yeah.
they just went through in week one.
True. Uh, obviously, they're losing to the Giants there was a bit of a heartbreaker for him.
It's a slap in the face and a punch to the gut at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah,
So it was definitely surprising. It was my, I'm sorry, what? Reaction of the first week.
yeah.
And this Von Miller is not who you want to face if you are
No,
trying to establish the run or
true,
protect your QB. So
true. Yeah,
I don't have
this is
high hopes.
yeah. Obviously, they're going to run into a brick wall there with the Bills both offensively and defensively there.
Yeah, I tend to agree, unfortunately, because I do like Tennessee.
Yeah. So obviously, Josh Allen was dominant there against the Rams there first game of the season there.
I would say that their defense was more dominant than their offense, but I would tend to agree that Josh Allen was definitely a factor.
Yeah. And obviously the defense with Von Miller there, as you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with me there, with Paul DCU, I'm going to say the Bills are going to run all over the Titans there and dominate them.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I am still starting Derrick Henry because he is Derrick Henry, but I think that this is going to be a struggle
Yeah.
fest for him,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they
But
don't.
if I was Henry, I'd be careful there because Von Miller might sneak up and tackle him there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would love to see those two go at it on the field,
Mhm.
like because Derrick Henry is known for like bowling people over, and I would love to see him one time just bowl Von Miller over. I
Yeah.
think that'd be really really fun. But that play of my dreams aside, I am taking Buffalo to win it. I think that's the safest pick, and they're so strong and so dangerous this year. So
Mhm.
it's gonna be really interesting.
Mhm.
All right, final game of the week. We have Minnesota going to the Eagles,
Yeah.
both coming
Obviously,
off of fairly good wins. So,
yeah. Obviously, the more shocking one was the Vikings there. Me there. No.
yeah, of the two games, I would say that Minnesota dominating like they did was definitely more of a surprise. I'm very happy for it. It was because I mean, anytime Green Bay loses is a happy night for me.
Yeah.
So I was thrilled, even if it is to another North.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And,
just anytime they lose is happy.
yeah. And obviously, fans of Kirk Cousins there are to the moon, I guess.
Yeah, 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 sure, they exist.
Yeah.
I have nothing against his play. He is statistically one of the better, like more consistent and steady QBs. I just, for some reason, he just always rubbed me the wrong way, even back in Washington. So I don't really know why. I can't explain it, but I will not hold that against his play on the field. He is very, very competent on the field. So I think it'll be a good game.
And obviously, with the Eagles, Jalen Hurts there was doing did good there. They survived that last minute scare against the Lions, as we discussed earlier.
Yeah, and hopefully this week he doesn't try to do intentional grounding, and they can actually put some good plays together. I think that AJ Brown and him have a really good connection, and that's definitely scary.
True. Yeah. But being at home there might help them out a lot there.
That's fair.
Yeah. True. And so obviously, I'm going to take the Eagles there to beat the Vikings.
Hmm. Okay. I split again because I actually took Minnesota. I think
Whoa.
that they have a lot of really good weapons, and I'm still not completely sold on the hype behind Jalen Hurts and that entire team. Like the only one on that team I really really like is AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not completely sold on the team as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it's only the second week, so they have plenty of time to change my mind.
Yeah.
But I was really happy with the Vikings' performance. last week, so I'm gonna go with them and just hope that I'm not mistaken
Yeah.
again. So we split again. So how many splits do we have before I roll up the other picks? If you have those handy.
Yeah. 4 games there we split on.
Okay, so we split on 4. That's a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Crap. Okay. Well, and then here are the picks for the other guys. John to the left, SDS in the middle, and Buff, of course, over on the right.
Yeah.
And Buff went with the Jets in a bold decision.
Whoa.
Bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it does. He's going for it this week. I respect that. I respect that a lot.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Go bold or go home.
Yep. Go bold or go home. Go big or go home. Good on you. I like that. John took the Seahawks. That's going to be very interesting. So there we have that. That was another rather long episode. I will try to cut it down a little bit for you guys, but we've been talking a lot about this stuff. Like, there's so much going on in the league. There's so much to actually get into.
True.
So that's going to do it for week 2. Be sure to check out the links down below for everyone's current records, as well as all of my links to socials and the like.
Obviously, like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for all future videos on the site here.
Yep, if interested in more of the NFL content that you have seen today, feel free to subscribe if you are interested. If you're not, then no problem. All views are helpful. All watch time is definitely appreciated. And if you've made it this far into the episode, comment your favorite dinner of choice, because I'm very hungry and I'm about to go get some food. So
Yeah.
I am very curious on what your favorite meal would be. So
Me, obviously, it's food I made tonight. There, spaghetti there.
oh, that's good. I like pasta with the small noodles more than spaghetti.
Yeah.
But that's pasta's always good. We had that the other night too. It's
Yeah.
really good. I personally am gonna go and get some cereal because Lucky Charms is love. So I will catch you guys next week for week 3 of the NFL predictions versus season 3. And we hope that you enjoyed.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, and see you next week.